How's it going, everyone? This is Christian with Potato Chips Gaming. Today, we have finally done it. Dawn of War 2 Retribution, the Elite mod, is now operational. And I've already played my first game with it, and holy crap. Not only is the AI improved, but the weapons are improved, just about everything is improved. Everything is made much better than it originally was. The Imperial Guard now have their numbers on their side, and it's just amazing. Now we're just going to get into it. I've already set up a game, so we're just going to go ahead and commentate on that. I hope you guys enjoy it. Oh, this was a bit of a hectic battle for me. Pardon me. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so I was playing the Eldar versus the Imperial Guard, so let's get into it. So I've got my Warlock heading for the power source as per usual, and the Guardians have actually been replaced with Dire Avengers. Now, the Guardians are sort of civilian soldiers of the Eldar, so they're used in a last resort for Eldar, whereas the Dire Avengers are their proper infantry. So you can see they got their little mohawks there. And yeah. So over here we got the Imperial Guard going a bit ahead of themselves. They've got a Sentinel already, as well as they have the Inquisitor commander, so Spellcaster. Kind of just got their Sentinel wandering around, and it looks like these guys are going for the power source right here. However, I'm going to send my Warlock in, not actually knowing there's someone there. I wasn't actually paying attention to it at the time. I was actually paying attention to this, because I actually seen some rocks get knocked over by these over here, so I sent these guys in to intercept. Looks like I did not quite get them behind cover as fast as I wanted to. So I just lost a model there. These guys are capturing over here. I got my Howling Banshees online. I sent these guys up to reinforce the Dire Avengers here, so I've got 2 squads of Dire Avengers now. Another Guardian casualty, and we should take it down now. Alright, so that's that. Looks like they sent the Guardsmen back to take that point. Yeah, this guy's still focusing on this Guardsman. He took a bit of damage, mainly because I wasn't paying attention to him, and he actually took a bunch of ranged fire. And here comes a full health Inquisitor, so it's not going to look good for my Warlock if those two get engaged. Alright, we got the Banshees over here going for the power node, and yeah, pretty much everything is going just as planned from right now, except for the few casualties I took for my Dire Avengers. Alright, looks like the Inquisitor is coming in to try and screw over my Dire Avengers. However, she is taking a good bit of damage, so she just decides to get out of there. But not before doing that little ring thing with her powers. Alright. So not much is going on right now. I've capped most of the map except for these 3 points. However, I'm capping this one right as we speak. Looks like they've got 2 groups of Guardsmen coming out. Full unit, almost full health right there. Mostly full unit. However, they did take quite a few damage from their last battle. So right now it's just a battle of attrition. So who's going to take the most casualties first? And I just sent my Howling Banshees to absolutely whomp on these poor bastards. So we're just going to watch them take these guys down. Anyway, where are we? Alright, looks like they've got their Inquisitor by. I didn't actually notice this until... Actually, I did notice this. That's why I'm sending my Banshees after her. And my Warlock. Alright, I'm sending my Dire Avengers up to just try and capture them in. As you can see, it's much more difficult with this mod on. It's going to be much more difficult later when they get a little surprise from me. Took a lot of casualties with that surprise. They got some Catachans in, however, they aren't spamming it like the AI normally does, so I just kind of counter them eventually, but as of right now, they're going to cause some major havoc. As you can see, they just grenaded nothing, but they were going for my Banshees and my Warlock there. Sent my Banshees in to take care of the Catachans, and then I sent in my Warlock as well, despite him being low health. He's still pretty tanky, despite being low health. Alright, so as you can see, a little firefight is going on right now. Both sides taking heavy casualties. I lost 2 of my units here. I managed to start getting yeah, it looks like I got an Exarch on this squad right here, so that way they have at least some leadership. Alright, looks pretty good. Okay, got grenade there, so that doesn't look nearly as good. Had 2 water towers fall on them, but, you know, they're still kicking. They're still kicking. Alright, looks like I lost one of my guardians again. Good grenade right there. Good grenade. Took down a bunch of models. Alright, forgot about these guys over here for a little while, so they're kind of just holding on their own. Same with this Exarch here, just being a Banff, even though his entire squad got wiped out. The Banshees, unfortunately, took quite a few casualties, as you can see right here, so yeah, I'm going to have them retreat in this second, I think. Yeah, there we go. Have one Exarch just holding the line right here. I didn't even realize that they had an explosive right here. That's a bit of a scary proposition. Anyway. Carnage just everywhere. So, yeah, I got my Warlock and my Dire Avengers coming back. Gonna send my Warlock after their Inquisitor, who has the Interior's Armor ability, which essentially just allows her to sort of cloak any unit she wants, so she can make any unit she wants invisible. Alright, looks like we're taking a little break here. Looks like their guardsmen are healing up, as well as our Catachans. My guys are just setting up over here, not realizing that there's a freaking bomb right there. Apparently they don't see the TNT. That would have been nice to actually know that. Ah, well, still got this Exarch here being a Banff. Let's see here. Alright, here they come. I set up a little barrier there, but that didn't do jack shit again. The Catachans just said fuck no to that, and yeah. Now we've got a hell of a battle going here. Thankfully, I managed to actually get a Shuriken weapons team, which actually makes my life a lot easier. So I'm just gonna set them up right there. Catachans coming back for more. However, they are not going to make it, actually. Looks like they're just doing a suicide run here. Maybe to clear up resources. Maybe the AI just went faulty with its mind. I don't know. But I can't really speak for the AI, but I've got my one Exarch just sitting right here. I want to send him in here, but I must have forgotten at some point. Killed everyone in that squad there, including their sergeants, so that's good. Alright. Kind of nothing really going on right now except for them throwing troops at me like no tomorrow. So, let's see. Yeah, it's mostly just posturing up and healing up at this point, so let's just fast forward through it. Okay, looks like they've got a unit of guards with their squad sergeant coming in, but, you know, that's going to do jack. So yeah, it looks like they're just like poking and prodding. Adding warp generator. Yeah, poking and prodding. Nothing really much. Generator operational. I got their Inquisitor coming in here. Looks like she's getting pretty beaten down by that Shuriken cannon as well as those Guardian squads. Got these guys suppressed, so they're going to pretty much go down one by one here. There we go. Look at that. Took down a good portion of their unit right there. About half if you're not including the sergeant. Actually, exactly half if you're not including the sergeant. Alright, got my Warlock here, the Merciless Witchblade, so I sent him after the power node here. So, yeah. Just kind of watching this happen. They're just kind of sacrificing units at this point. Listen, buddy, you're not Chaos. You don't get to sacrifice units to the Dark Gods. So stop sending them at me. Do something interesting. Anyway, yeah, I managed to get these webway gates set up, which I don't think I mentioned this before, but webway gates actually allow you to, like, so say I want to move these troops to the other one. I can actually put them in here and then select this webway gate and just take them right out of that webway gate. So it's pretty much instant map transportation. Now, Inquisitor is being sent up again. Nothing really impressive there. Ooh, here comes... Oh, yep. They do that occasionally. They actually use their abilities now, and they actually bombard you. So they use their little Firestorm ability that the Inquisitor has, and kind of spooked me right there. So I just kind of had them run away for no reason. So now I realize my folly, so I send my Banshees in after the Inquisitor, and just have my Shuriken Cannons start going to work on these poor bastards right here. Alright, send my Guardian Scott back because I realized the threat is over. Because in the original game, that thing actually did a lot more damage to infantry, as well as it lasted a lot longer. So it was fairly unbalanced against infantry. But, you know, that's fine. Now it's more of just a support role. Now they actually got Chimera in, which I was not expecting. So you're about to see some hell break loose on my poor Eldar here. That las cannon they've got up top there, not las cannon necessarily. Las cannon is much heavier, but like it's a heavier las gun. And I just kind of freak out and I realize, oh god, I need to destroy this thing. So I just throw a grenade at it and hope that does it. Now I send my Warlock in, thinking again, like last time, his spear does crap, but unfortunately his spear does not do shit. So you know, he's kind of just poking away at it. I realize this, and I'm just kind of lost. I'm actually frantically searching around right now, looking for something to do. Trying to upgrade my webway here, and then this Exarch just goes out like a bamf and just like drops. He was holding the line for so long, and then he just dies. I feel a little bit bad about that. Anyway, the Chimeras took a good hit from my Eldar. Unfortunately, just anti-infantry fire, so I took a bunch of casualties from that. I send my Warlock after their leader here, and managed to kill their leader before I have to retreat. So I'm rocking 60 health right now with the freaking tank after me. Anyway, send my Banshees in to heal up with the webway gate and send them in to tear apart the Chimera. Now, alone, the Banshees don't actually do anti-vehicle damage or much anti-vehicle damage. They still do some. However, they're actually repairing as I'm hitting up their Chimera. So, unfortunately, it kind of evens out, and it's causing my Banshees to slowly lose casualties. Anyway, I should be getting them an Exarch pretty soon here. And that's actually going to do enough damage to actually take down the Chimera. So just kind of keep sending them there. Inquisitors currently trying to cap points, so this is the time they literally almost broke through. I was like freaking out frantically at this. Alright, got my Dire Avenger squad back. Not gonna do crap, but I managed to just get everything out just to kill this thing. There we go. I got some Wraith Guard, which are heavy vehicle damage. Heavy vehicle damage, as well as anti-infantry. They're not accurate against infantry, but their D-cannon has excellent area of effect. Like you will see in a moment, it just absolutely tears apart entire group squads. Anyway, sending my Warlock after their Inquisitor again, because screw you for pulling that shit. That's essentially what I said there. Anyway, got the force set up again. Thankfully, not as many casualties. There's that Exarch again. He did good. He did good. Moment of silence for him. Okay, that's enough of more silence. Alright, so again, they use that firebomb on me, which is the Inquisitor's special ability. Like, each commander gets their own unique set of abilities in the corner here that you can spend Zeal or Wa or whatever it's called. And it, yeah, pretty much just allows you to use different units. Now, some units have better, shit, what am I saying? Yeah, here comes another freaking Chimera. However, this time I got the anti-Chimera right here, as well as the shield, so these Guardians aren't just going to get popped like they were originally. Anyway, what I was saying was, yeah, you kill enemies to get Zeal, and then you use Zeal to activate these special abilities, and each one is different for each one, each kind of commander. So, for example, Force commanders for the Space Marines actually get Assault Terminators. So some commanders actually get unique units. So the Inquisitor here gets a Bane Wolf instead of the standard Chimera, which gives the Chimera an acid cannon instead of the standard laser cannon. Anyway, yeah, just having them go to town on that. Warlock special abilities aren't really that impressive. I haven't really found use for any of them. I just like his weapons and armor. Like I find him really good for that. Anyway, we've got a Inquisitor coming up there alone because that's a great idea. She's retreating as per usual. Got some guardsmen, and really I just got them wrangled at this point. Got their resource points and everything locked down, and yeah. Got my Webblade assembly at level 3. I'm gonna get a Falcon because I'm worried, like, if I start taking casualties like I am now, right here, that I won't be able to hold. So I get a Falcon so I can reinforce my troops at the front line. Anyway, Guardian Weapons team just sitting here. You just saw that Decan just absolutely shred that squad right there. Now, just it's pretty much just cleanup at this point. Now, unfortunately, I'm unable to do a frontal assault, mainly because I would get absolutely torn to shreds. Just like those guys there. Anyway, yeah, I would get torn to shreds if I tried to do a frontal assault with nothing but infantry, because those turrets are nothing to joke about. Anyway, yeah, so sending my Falcon up. Gonna just kind of barrel through these pipe lines and such. And, yeah. Guardsmen are just kind of tearing this ever-loving... Oh boy. Those poor bastards. Yay, more giblets. Anyway, yeah. So so like I said, the Elite mod actually updates several things. So as you can see, the Guardsmen portraits are a bit different from the original Dawn of War 2 Retribution. Let's see what else is different. So these guys were the Guardians, but now they're Dire Avenger Squad. So you can see they've got the headdress, they've got even more armor. They're slightly buffed compared to the Guardians, so they do a bit more damage, but they're still just about as squishy. A little bit tougher, Anyway, you got the Eldar Warlock here, who virtually had nothing changed about him, so he's doing pretty good. There's a hell of a battle going on here. Oh no, it's just them. Anyway, let's see. Anything changed up with you guys? Not really, no. No, you guys are pretty good. Anyway, apparently they forgot about this bomb here. Like, they could have potentially screwed over my entire operation, but I guess not. Okay. Anyway, got the Shuriken Cannon online here, and there's the Banshees. Looks like they've got a bit of an... Huh. Not sure how I feel about the new headdress they have on. Like, in the original Dawn of War 2 Retribution, it looked more like hair as opposed to dreadlocks. I guess they're supposed to be dreadlocks. I couldn't tell you. I'm not an Eldar player. I'm a Space Marine player. I mean, except for in this instance. Anyway, I actually got a squad of Dark Reapers in to help out because, well, I wanted to test them out in this mod. Got them their Exarch, so he's looking pretty tough and pretty mean. So yeah, didn't really know what those guns did. Apparently they're just sort of like mini plasma guns that rapid fire. And yeah. Just kind of tearing these guys apart at this point. Looks like they actually upgraded their heavy weapon squad to an autocannon, so that's going to be a bit annoying later. You're going to see why. Anyway. Yeah, so nothing much is going on. Kind of just, they're just going to keep running into me. They're just going to keep dying out and getting torn apart, and pretty much that. They're turning into that, giblets. Anyway, Inquisitor's not doing much to help out her team, unfortunately. She's got the Inferno pistol equipped, which is effective against all targets. It's pretty much a melt-a-gun that actually has freaking accuracy. Unfortunately, she can't get close enough to my Falcon to actually do anything with that gun, or she can get to my Dire Avengers, though. So, just watching these guys get torn to shreds right here. Again, giblets. Now they're sending another one in, and yeah, there it is. As you can see, they had their autocannon focusing my Falcon because it actually does heavy damage to light vehicles, and my Falcon is considered a light vehicle. Thankfully, I've got this energy field on him, so it absorbs energy instead of actual health. So that's really useful. Anyway, got sick of it, decided to send a Wraith Lord with a Bright Lance upgrade in, so he's going to do heavy damage against these turrets here. However, he's also going to take heavy fire as well, because that autocannon is nothing to joke about. I got him the Wraithbone upgrade soon, which is actually his saving grace right here. Anyway, looks like he's got his autocannon going for my Dark Reaper Squadron. And I just kind of send them up, and they just start like tearing through their troops right here. You can just see a pile of bodies right here. Anyway, they're gonna just keep running around, going back up and back, going back and forth, just getting slaughtered each time they come near me. Now their autocannon has a good bit of range. I decided to move up my forces a bit so that way I can like really like start pressing them in. However, as you can see in a minute, without autocannon, it's gonna be a mistake, because his range is much larger than mine. And I just send these Guardians in to see if I can throw a grenade in the middle of that. However, I take a loss right there. And yeah, I just take down a ton of models right there. That was like 7, 8 maybe? I don't know. I didn't really count. Anyway, looks like they sent their fire in again, and they've got their autocannon firing as well. So the fire was actually burning away my shield, which was really smart on the AI's part, surprisingly. And then they started focusing their autocannon on it, and I took a good bit of health right there. It just chewed through my health, so I just decided to pull that back. I used the Wraithbone ability, which allows my Wraith Lord to heal at the cost of he's unable to move and attack. So he just kind of sat there and like had heavy health regeneration, and I just kind of sent him just about after anyone I could. I was kind of freaking out at this point because my Wraith Lord was taking a heck of a lot more damage than I was expecting. Anyway, I forgot to have him target this turret here, so it looks like he's just targeting the base itself. No, it looks like he's targeting these guys. Anyway, yeah, I switch him back over, so he's firing at the correct thing. However, apparently the flamers do a lot heavier damage than I was expecting to him. He's actually, I might be miscalculating that. Yeah, it might have been the autocannon that I was looking at. But yeah, he's actually taking quite a few hits, so I'm just like focused on getting this autocannon dead as soon as possible here, because he's doing a lot more damage than I was wanting. And there he goes. He goes down along with 3 other guardsmen. So kind of just sending everyone in at this point, sending everyone closer with the autocannon gone. And yeah, looks like my Wraithlord is almost just about dead here. However, I used another Wraithbone that actually was really close because that Wraithbone was actually still recharging, and it was like a really close race. So it was either he was gonna die from like the 20 health he had left, or he was gonna get that Wraithbone off, and I just barely managed to get that Wraithbone off. So now, with the turrets dead, I just start focus firing everything in here because, you know, my units can no longer be suppressed. And yeah, I just start sending everyone in. They just lost a sergeant right there. I couldn't tell from that whole clusterfuck of what just happened. Anyway, so everyone's taking heavy casualties. The guardsmen are not happy right now. They're just like littered all over their base's front lawn. And looks like they've only got one multi-laser turret left. Anyway, got the Warlock here going after the Inquisitor. Takes down the Inquisitor. And yeah, that's all she wrote for their defenses. Looks like they're summoning in a Sentinel, but unfortunately that thing is not going to be enough. I send pretty much everyone in at this point. You got the Dire Avengers, totally forgot about them hanging out over here because God knows they took a heavy casualty. They took some heavy injuries when I had them just like assault their base to throw that grenade. Anyway, looks like the Sentinel's done, and he is just going to get shredded. But I just got the Banshee with the Exarch on them, and yeah, no, he's gone. The Exarch just does so much anti-vehicle damage. Now I got the Wraith Guards here. Thankfully, they didn't take any casualties despite their health. And yeah, they're doing pretty good. Wraithlord coming in closer with the Dark Reaper squad, and yeah, we're just like cleaning house right now. And yeah, looks like that's all she wrote for the Imperial Guard. There's no real miracle they could pull here. Unless, you know, they get a nuke off. That would be unfortunate. Anyway, yeah. Looks like the Inquisitor tried to do something again, however, just got torn apart by my Warlock and Banshees. And yeah, that's all she wrote for the Imperial Guard. Voila! Just bodies littering the ground. Oh, I feel so bad for them.
The Craftwell shall rejoice in our victory.
They're kind of floating there. Don't know what's up with that. Got the Sentinel right there, got more floating bodies, got just bodies everywhere. There's that Bamf of an Exarch right there. Yep. That's all she wrote. Let's go ahead and take a look at our stats. And yeah, that'll be this episode. Here we go. Alright, commander level. Commander kills 7, killed their commander 7 times, commander level 9. So my commander level is 9, their commander level is 2. They lost their commander 7 times. Now units killed 213, units lost 29. So the reason I have such heavy casualties is because they actually changed up the AI a lot to be a lot more aggressive and such. Because before I could predict the AI, so I could go on any map and know what to expect from the AI. So with this mod that completely changes their tactics and stuff, I took a lot more casualties than I was thinking. Because usually when I'm Eldar, I take like maybe 2 or 3 casualties and just absolutely scrub the floor with them. However, with this mod on, it's going to be a lot more interesting. Requisition collected, 7675. Power collected, 310. You can look at the numbers. So yeah, here's our resource collection. And here's our point capture. So they captured 2 points from me, and I captured 3 points from them. You know, just standard stuff. So like this is points stolen from us right here. This is point captures in total. So I captured all of them. They captured 3 of them, and then just lost them all in the end. So yeah, I have been Christian with Potato Chips Gaming, and I hope to see you guys in the future.